Sex trafficking has become a major issue in the United States. However, the Covering House provides a safe environment for sexually exploited and trafficked children and teens. Here to tell us more is Executive Director Lindsey Ellis and President and Founder Diedre Lhamon. Ladies, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Right out the gate, how is sex trafficking different from prostitution?
Go ahead. The first thing is usually when you look at the definition, it's going to have you look for two things. One is it's any exchange of goods for services, any kind of sex act that comes from force, fraud, and coercion, or if the girl is under 18 or boy is under 18, it is automatically classified as trafficking.
Deidre, I'm going to call you Deidre because
Yes.
we talked earlier and you said you prefer that name. Is that really an issue in the United States right now?
Very much so. A few years ago when we started looking into this, I honestly had no idea how prevalent it was in the United States and especially in our area. The St. Louis area is in the top 20 cities in the country for trafficking. And so I think that it's hard for people to wrap their minds around that it happens domestically, much less in the Midwest, but it's very much a problem here.
I'm sorry. Right here in St. Louis, this is an issue?
Yes. We are kind of in a perfect storm because we have an international airport. We have trucking industries on both sides of the river. The interstates that kind of run through the United States kind of meet in our area. Plus, on the Illinois side of the river, there are a lot of clubs that are located on that side of the river where this can take place. In fact, we had 3 of our girls at one point placed in one of those clubs over in the river, and at the time, one of them was 12 years old.
That's astonishing. I'm just blown away. So I want you to tell me, how does somebody get into sex trafficking? How do these victims get involved in sex trafficking?
There's a lot of ways, and one of the things that we always say, because we always get asked who are the victimized, what does that look like, what do the victims look like? For us, it's any youth or kid that's vulnerable, which could be anyone. For what we see is I think the media's done a great job of portraying one type of victim, which is the girls that are lured out some way, held against their will, captured by force, kidnapped. We have those kind of those media portrayals. But for us, our girls, anywhere from 80 to 85% of our girls, they were all lured out through some kind of relationship. They're held up. We still say that they're held, but it's more of a psychological manipulation. It was a relationship that they thought someone loved them or cared for them. It was a friendship that then just started spiraling little by little, asking her to do webcamming or asking her to strip, all forms of exploitation, and then sometimes stepping out into more of what we see in this idea of being prostituted or being, she's caught up before she even realizes that it happened.
Amazing. And Deidre, I know this is your brainchild, so tell me what happened in your life that made you say, you know what, I have got to do something.
I was watching a documentary on television about trafficking of children, and they talked about what was going on abroad, and then they talked about domestic trafficking. I have 2 daughters, and I'm not a person who has worked in social services. My background's in communication, but I'm a mother. And so it was something that just, I couldn't believe that was going on, and I thought, I need to learn more and figure out if I need to do something. And so when I learned how prevalent it was here in our area, I just started reaching out to people who could help do things that I couldn't do. I knew what I was strong at, communicating, networking. I had no background in social services, so we needed a Lindsey. I needed someone who's worked with youth, high-risk youth, and knew how to develop programming that could really restore these kids and help them heal through this process. And so little by little, day by day, we just started developing and working and moving towards those things, and that's kind of how it started taking place.
All right, we have to take a break, but when we come back, let's talk about what that process looks like and what you do to really help these girls and young boys right after this. Stay with us at STL Live. We'll learn more about the Covering House after this break.